If you still with me, please like the video, share the video. I need y'all in a way that I never needed you before. Subscribe. But, yeah, that in itself is a level of disrespect and a level of intellectual dishonesty that I don't think people are having. So go ahead, chop it up, hit the like button, hit the share button if you're still here with me. This is the part of the conversation, and this is going to be, if you are here with me, please be in mind and not in emotion. Some of the things I am going to say, I have also been at fault for committing these things. So I am not absolving myself of these things. Some of these things, if they do trigger you, especially for the older generation, please take a step back to actually think about what I'm saying, right? And I'm going to go ahead and start it off. So, boom. Everybody thinks that the Trayon supporters are ignorant and that they voted for a person who they feel like is not or does not have the capacity to be council member. Now, with that being said, y'all know I voted for Mike Austin because I think Mike Austin is better, and I would agree with the sentiment that Trayon is not a good legislator. Like I have said in the past, if he was running for the best activist in Ward 8, I will vote for him probably 9 out of 10 times because he is great at galvanizing, he is great at activation, he is great at whipping people into a frenzy. Those things I cannot take from him. He was the most charismatic, he was the best seller in this specific election. I cannot take those things from him. Now, the problem that I have though, and the conversation that needs and has to be had though, is for this post-civil rights generation and generation that sold their babies for crack and sold drugs and did whatever they did to get wherever they had to do. For the critique that the voters are possibly ignorant or apolitical or just didn't necessarily agree with you on who the candidate might be, my question to you is, what have you done as an Xer and a boomer to actually politically educate people to the point that we do not have a apathetic voter base where people aren't participating in elections? And what have we actually done, you all actually done, to create the voter that is necessary to engage in elections in a responsible way? Because since I've been alive in Washington, D.C., the name of the game has always been politic or be politicked, to take advantage of people's ignorance. Demonhood has always been on the front. And again, if this is not you, don't even, please. But we all know people who have taken advantage of black people's ignorance. We all know people who have ISO'd people as a result of trying to politically educate people. Because even if we want to talk about the Democratic Party, right? The reason why I do not necessarily harp on Trump is because that gray area, that ambiguity, that area of chaos that people get to operate in was created and perpetuated by this post-civil rights generation to be able to create environments for people to, let's say, I'm going to have 10 people in a room, right? And in those 10 people, I'm going to tell 20 people to just vote for this person. But I'm going to tell them to vote, and they aren't supposed to ask me any questions. They aren't supposed to give me any pushback. They're just supposed to vote because I'm telling them to vote in a particular way. That's not a politically educated voter. We want sheep. But you're mad that the sheep have been so desensitized. You're mad that the sheep have been so brain rotted that the sheep can be guided in any specific way. based on superficial reasons, which is what Trump was able to take advantage of, which is what Trayon was able to take advantage of, what anybody is able to take advantage of, because Kamala Harris was also able to take advantage of. The 92%, the people who say or think that they are better as a result of voting for a person because of superficial reasons, whether they be because she was a black or a woman or whatever superficial reason there is outside of what her policy positions were, you are also a part of the problem. Because you have also educated a generations of people who operate within that. Because, again, like I said, I'm guilty. I voted for Barack Obama because he was black. I have no shame in that, because where I was in that moment in time, that was a lot of my indoctrination. And at that moment, at that time, Barack Obama, this black dude, it's a pivotal moment. It's crazy. Let's go. This is what we rocking with. But I didn't have the levels of nuance that should have been put into me by my mother or a father or a grandparent, etc., somebody in my community, to say that, yes, he may be black, but the fact that he, again, campaigned in this way because he won twice, but when he got in, he governed in a way that were center right. He had more policies that benefited the actual bankers, the elites, quote unquote, because if we really want to be honest, I know he did that, what was it, Frank Dodd, where they tried to put in place, because after the housing crisis and the bank fraud and all of the things that were going on, made this not ever happen again. But still made a way to allow them to leverage private equity and all of these different things to still advance themselves. Eric Snowden, a person who, if under Trump era would have come out, Trump would have been lambasted, but he was running for his life in an Obama-Biden administration. Now, we don't critique Obama because he is black. We don't have the conversation that we, as a community, our parents and grandparents have taught us to either engage in politics in a superficial way, and which is why the more charismatic person always wins, because we don't engage in anything of substance. And people have been trained to, even in an engagement like this, you'll be mad at me because I'm telling you how you're being fleeced, right? And then the other side is like, well, Devon, the game is to be sold, not told. I think that is the most disrespectful thing ever, but I get it, because if you're not selling something to black people, they have a higher propensity to not buy it because they've only been taught how to consume and be consumers of everything. Everything. Our politics, to the point where we don't understand that politics encapsulates everything. It touches education. It touches policing. It touches the corporate. It touches the business world. So all of these different things where people continue to, oh, well, we're moving into an authoritarian or fascist country. The oligarchs. Business has been running America since America started. But because we have been trained to engage our politics, if we engage it at all, on a superficial level, we have been allowed to be fleeced. And again, this is something, the question I'm proposing is, what has the older generation done to create politically educated voters? Because, see, when I try to have full-fledged conversations, I get shunned by my elders. And even the elders and the people who know that I am saying the right thing are afraid to attach themselves to me because I am saying the right thing. And we understand within this city, when you say certain things, people will isolate you. If you don't believe it, go and look up who Ralph Nader is. Crushed by the Democratic Party. They cheated against Bernie Sanders in the open. Dean Phillips, they tried to slander him for running against Joe Biden. And have y'all recognized the pattern? Have we not recognized the pattern that everybody who is in the Democratic Party magically has tell-all books or magically want to talk about their abuse once they leave the party? Have we not recognized the pattern where the Joy Reids of the world, the Candace Owens of the world, what's the white boy who come out of Fox 5 name? Tucker Carlson's of the world. They come out of these institutions where they were partisan and they were paid to, tell half-truths to create the level of ambiguity, to have people operate in that level of chaos and that level of ignorance, of half-truths. But now, they want to be truthful. They want to be open. They want to say it all. But you created the situation to where the voters don't even know what truth is anymore. We want to talk about a disbelief in institutions because everybody has played and used institutions to tell half-truths. And the reason that I keep saying half-truths is because I know people are going to be like, oh, well, you got to do what you got to do. Cool, fine. I'm just here to tell y'all because the part of me is like, it's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to turn out how it's going to turn out because you can have that stance, but understand that there's a cost associated with that stance. And a lot of this stuff is happening the way that it's happening is because, again, the 92%, I see people talk about it all the time. Well, if Kamala was in office, none of this would be happening. Are we serious, people? Are we serious? But again, that is the duplicitousness that I'm talking about. Because are we really sitting here trying to have a conversation that we wouldn't have been on the same trajectory? That we didn't have 2 terms of Obama, that we didn't have a term of Biden, and the trajectory is still the same. Now, what I will argue or allow for someone to say is that, yes, Trump has vastly expedited the deterioration of the nation. But let's stop acting like that if Kamala Harris got in office, that somehow this shit wasn't going to go in a different direction. Like, let's stop being intellectually dishonest, people. Let's stop acting like that the actual elites, the actual money team got both parties in their pocket. Got most people who at that level in their pocket. On the hip. Boom. Can we just be honest about that? That's all I'm saying. Because it's that level of ambiguity that y'all continue to play in that allows for things like this to happen. So again, that's why I'm not mad at Trayon. I'm not mad at Donald Trump. You want to know why? Because as I always say, people have opened those doors. People have created the landscape to be ripe and ripped and pillaged in this way. Because you got to be charismatic. A lot of people, even for my content, right? People will say, oh, well, you got to deliver it in this way. Talk about it in that way. Well, that's fine and cool. I understand that if I were to get on here and talk about, man versus woman or, have a shoes or something superficial that people can just enjoy. I know that gets easier traction because people have been conditioned to do that. I understand that because my job in the past has been largely exploiting that. I know what it is. People want to say, well, oh, we can do all of these different things at the same time. Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. Because again, take for example, right? People will say, well, oh, Devon, we can do this at the same time. Well, think about this analogy, right? Your house is on fire. If y'all are telling me and people are having discussions around the dire stakes of the nation, of just human life overall, it is ring the alarm level, right? Follow me, follow me. The house is on fire, but you are telling me that you trying to watch TV while your house is burning. And again, this is an analogy, people. Please don't hit me with the intellectual dishonesty. This is an analogy. I need you to focus on putting out the fire first. Because people always say to me, oh, we can walk and chew bubble gum. I have yet to see it. That's what they want you to believe. Because anybody who's ever worked in marketing, anybody who's ever worked in politics, or any of these communication sectors, and especially at a higher level, and I won't even say at a higher level, at a level where the facade is pulled back, where you can see it for what it is. No flowers. It's the Wicked Witch of the West versus Galinda. No Oz. You have found out Oz is fake. You understand that attention is finite. It has limitations. The more, for example, let's say I do another podcast or I focus attention somewhere else. That is time that I have to commit to that. Which means that I don't have the ability to focus on reading, consuming the information, actually being a steward of the information, being able to synthesize, reflect on the information, to actually be an effective governing body. So we've created a space where you have morons in Congress who can't actually govern because the landscape has been created and developed in such a way that you're trying to be a social media influencer because that is the way to actually galvanize and create mass in terms of movements, because it's all a business model. It's a business model. Your attention is a business model. The actual guts have been removed. I don't need to have substance anymore. That's the gray area. That's the people planning. That's the area of chaos. I don't have to have substance. I don't have to have any type of background knowledge or any type of prerequisites in terms of me having to be able to reach a certain level of conversation. Nobody has to be an expert anymore. So now people are upset that Donald Trump has won, or they're upset that Trayon has won, but you created it. We created a generation of kids who don't know anything. And we got the Z's and the Alphas coming out. I'm proud of them because they starting to realize that, oh yeah, this is BS. This is nonsense. We've been tricked. We've been bamboozled. And I'm with them all the way. Because the only reason I do this is because of them. I don't really care. My generation and up is cooked. Ex-boomers are cooked. We done lived our lives. But again, if we continue down the path of, oh, well, just vote for this person because they're gay, or vote for this person for whatever reason it lacks substance, is the problem. You should not be able to tell somebody to vote for somebody and they do it off of the strength of you. You should not. You're not talking to a politically educated voter. I don't care if it is my friend. No, look this shit up. Look the people up. Oh, but everybody doesn't do that. Everybody, that's not your thing. But y'all want democracy. Democracy requires sacrifice. Democracy requires participation, because we keep talking about the founding thugs, the founding fathers. The way that they wrote it is that you got to fight for it. There are no unalienable rights. If you don't fight for the democracy, you won't have it. If you don't engage and stay informed, you won't have it. But they leave all of that part out. Why? Because it's not to your benefit to understand, to not have you oriented in the appropriate way. Because if you get the whole, you understand, like, damn, even though I don't want to do this, I got to do it. Because it's a maintenance factor. You can't just say, oh no, I'm good. All right. Well, you're gonna get fascism then. That's cool. Y'all could be apolitical. You could think it's doing too much. I talked to more than a handful of people during the campaign about actually just voting. Fuck it, I don't even care who you vote for. Just vote. You want to call the mayor bald head hoes and all of this? Who cares? You not voting ain't gonna change your children's life. Y'all walk around with kids and not voting. But I get it. I get it. Nobody did the work to actually create politically educated voters, and they don't want to help people who trying to create politically educated voters, because if you have politically educated voters, a lot of this foolery wouldn't even be able to be permissible, because it'd be called out on the spot. You'd be like, hold on, nah, that sounds crazy. Get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? That's you tripping. That equation don't even work. Again, they telling y'all they gonna have you gonna run a campaign on what are you talking about? Climate change, all of these different things in terms of the sustainability of the earth. Meanwhile, you're not gonna have a conversation with your constituents about the overall consumption rates, that they gotta stop consuming as much. Because even if I turn it into vegan leather, if you consume 10 times more, now because it's vegan leather and you think it don't hurt, we still doing the same thing, because we still on the same trajectory. I might have slowed it down, but we still on the same trajectory. But you're not going to have that, because we haven't created a space where you can't tell the truth, because you won't get elected if you tell the truth. So you got to lie your way into office. Who fault is that? Who did that? Who? And again, the crazy part is the older people who might watch this won't even call out the older people who be on fuck shit. Won't. They'll just isolate me because I don't know how to be coachable. Coachable into corruption? What am I being coached into? Not teaching people how to be stupid? Because again, I understand both sides. I understand the fact that you probably shouldn't vote for a person who hasn't gotten you any policy within their 8-year span as a council member. But I also understand the fact that, yeah, it's easy to take advantage of people because y'all been voting for people just because they Democrats, just because they black, just because they pour hot sauce out their bag, just cause, for whatever stupid reason you can think of. And there is no accountability because, again, even the conversations around white versus black, we can have a conversation all day, every day about what white people do, but black people don't want to have this conversation with their mothers, their sisters, their wives, their aunties, and their uncles. You don't want to have that conversation with the person that's sitting right beside you that you know be on tomfoolery. You don't. And that's the problem. Because that person is going to isolate you, because that's the environment that we've created as a community. That I can't have a conversation and critique or be critiqued because it becomes hate. That's what our conversations are. And yet, y'all are mad that people don't vote or vote for Trump or people like Trayon. Why are you mad that people voted for Trump? Do you not understand that a lot of people voted for Trump because they want to see it destroyed, because they are tired of being lied to, because they are tired of being on the same trajectory, even though people continue to tell them that it's something different. And again, I don't necessarily agree with voting for Trump. But at the same time, I understand why people did it. It makes perfect sense to me. Because I want to give you a consequence for lying to me. I'm hurt. I know you're lying to me. Because once I do get politically informed, once I do start understanding, you lied to me. You manipulated me. You took advantage of me. So I'm going to vote for the motherfucker even though he hate me. Because guess what? I just want to spite you. I don't like you. Because a lot of y'all don't know that y'all infamous and not famous. But you don't want to even be self-aware enough to even think about that shit. No. It ain't me. Can never be me. And again, people be knowing I'm right. A lot of people say, oh yeah, I like your stuff. Watch it, like it, and share it then. But I get it. I understand the other side that if you share it and I'm talking real crazy, or not talking real crazy, I'm just telling the truth, the people next to you gonna be like, nah, damn, you fuck with him? Yeah, we can't fuck with you. Cause you try and tell the game, not sell the game. Because selling it is how y'all end up in these pyramid schemes, making yourselves vulnerable, being Cassies out here. Cause you think you get more bees with honey, but y'all don't realize that, see, flies flock to shit the same way bees go to honey. And you're not even properly oriented in the way where you understand you eating shit. You a bunch of flies. We a bunch of flies. We not fucking elites. We not a top 10%. But you want your lube because you wanted the slow way. So you want to hate on people who voted for Trump and shame them and shame people who voted for Trayon. Yeah, they might be ignorant, but guess what? What the fuck did you do to make them actually educated politically? Because I don't, look, again, like I said, for all the people, oh, you brilliant, you da-da-da-da, I don't see motherfuckers trying to beat down my door to help me create shit so that I can actually get us a base that's politically educated enough to fight back. Because a lot of the people, the truth is, and this is what I found out in working in these spaces, they're also ignorant. They have blind spots that they are not aware of. One of the things that I thought that working in politics and once I graduated, getting into academia, I thought that I was going to be around people who actually finally understood what it means to be and have intellectual integrity, you know, to explore ideas and all of this. No, just another business model. They don't give a fuck. And again, y'all hate me, fuck it. Because hating me ain't gonna do nothing. That's not the answer. Because we just gonna keep going down the same trajectories. Motherfuckers not making kids, families not being formed, the families that are formed being broken, more people as wealth calcifies, more people starving. The businesses, and let me not say the businesses, the wealth. And I'm talking about the disgusting wealth. It's not being broken up. But let me know what y'all think, man. Again, like the video, share the video, leave a comment. Am I tripping? I could be tripping. Because again, this is all about discourse, man. I'm not always right. I'm just on here talking, yapping, based on my own perspective and my own vantage point and my lived experience. But I know something, though. I know a little something. Not a lot, but a little something. So hit that like button, hit that share button, man. Y'all gonna stop cheating me on that, man. You watching it, man. Help me talk shit at a high level to these people. Because they be on tomfoolery. And we need to have people that's willing to say the whole truth. And call out the whole truth. Because a half-truth is a lie. And it confuses people because you think you understand, but you don't, because you don't have a full picture. Again, you think you're a bee, but the whole time you a fly flocking to shit. I'm on shit too. Again, I ain't just regular ass dude, regular ass Negro from Southeast. But like the video, share the video, leave a comment, please and thank you. Y'all enjoy. I'll catch y'all on another one.